through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999.
Imagine a universe not built for you, a universe vast, cold and indifferent, where meaning is not only absent but irrelevant. Welcome to The Stars Are Not For Us, a new episode of the 8-hour podcast exploring the dark philosophies and mythologies that haunt the modern imagination. I'm Raffaele, and in this episode we dive into the terrifying universe of Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Not just the monsters he created, but the meaning behind them, the vision of a reality crafted, one of insignificance, madness, and the horror of the unknown. We'll begin by exploring what the so-called Cthulhu Mythos really is. Then we'll take a brief detour through two key philosophical traditions, nihilism and existentialism. Finally, we'll return to Lovecraft to examine the core of his personal philosophy, Cosmicism. Howard Phillips Lovecraft was born in 1890 in Providence, Rhode Island. He lived a short, reclusive life marked by illness, poverty, and dreams of ancient ruins and alien gods. He never found commercial success in his lifetime, yet today he stands as one of the most influential figures in horror literature. But Lovecraft was more than a horror writer. He was a philosopher of fear. His stories explore the limits of human understanding and the sheer absurdity of our place in the universe. In many ways, he was a prophet of the modern condition, anxious, alienated, and utterly overwhelmed by the immensity of the cosmos. The Cthulhu Mythos, a name Lovecraft himself didn't use, refers to a loose network of ideas, entities, and forbidden texts that appear throughout his work. There is no strict canon. Instead, the mythos offers glimpses into a terrifying reality just beyond the veil of our perception. The most famous of these entities is, of course, Cthulhu, a sleeping godlike creature lying beneath the Pacific Ocean. But Cthulhu is only one of many. There is Azathoth, the blind idiot god who rides at the center of the universe, Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos who walks among men, and Yog-Sothoth, the all-knowing being that exists outside time and space. These are not deities in the traditional sense. They are not benevolent. They are not evil. They simply are. Their existence alone challenges the sanity of those who encounter them. As Lovecraft wrote in The Call of Cthulhu, "We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far." But let's say a few words about the philosophical currents of nihilism and existentialism. They will help us better frame Lovecraft's way of thinking. The school of thought known as existentialism presents itself along two primary lines, one anchored in religious faith and another rooted in a secular worldview. The theistic branch, closely associated with Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, suggests that genuine meaning in life can only be found through an act of faith, an acceptance of divine presence beyond the rational. In his work, The Sickness Unto Death, Kierkegaard sees the human refusal to embrace these as a descent into despair, which he characterizes as a kind of spiritual madness. In sharp contrast, atheistic existentialism, largely traced to German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, proposes a radically different solution. Nietzsche rejected the notion of a divine structure altogether. Instead, he challenged individuals to forge their own values and confront the void left by the collapse of religious meaning. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche's protagonist transcends humanity's limits not by denying absurdity, but by embracing it. He laughs at the farce of existence, including his own, aware that behind the spectacle lies nothing but emptiness. For atheistic existentialism, this laughter is not denial but liberation, the individual's declaration of creative freedom in a world stripped of metaphysical order. While Kierkegaard and Nietzsche laid the conceptual groundwork in the 19th century, existentialism as a formal movement matured in the following century, notably with Jean-Paul Sartre, Being and Nothingness, which crystallized the atheistic version of this philosophy. The absence of divine guidance, as Nietzsche saw it, left humanity exposed to a void. His declaration that God is dead was not a victory cry, but a warning that the moral compass once anchored by religion was now adrift, and so were we. On the other hand, nihilism asserts that human existence lacks inherent purpose or value, that we are no more than fleeting instances in an impersonal cosmos. It holds that nothing we do truly matters on a universal scale, and that no higher significance underpins our lives. Occasionally, this confrontation with the meaninglessness triggers an existential crisis. A moment when individuals question the value and direction of their lives in light of mortality and the potential emptiness of existence. For American philosopher Eugene Thacker, nihilism transcends theoretical discourse. It becomes an experiential reality when individuals face the void and recognize the absence of inherent meaning in the universe. This realization is not necessarily despairing, but can lead to a form of liberation, freeing individuals from the constraints of anthropocentric worldviews and allowing for a reimagining of existence beyond the human-centric narratives.